Welcome to this video on economics of cloud computing. In this video, we are going to look at the various aspects of cloud computing which are related with economics of an organization or company. Money is ultimate driver of business, and every organization that wants to use cloud computing is always concerned and conscious about the spendings that are going to happen. Is it really going to save some money, or is it going to be a costlier affair? These are the different aspects that we are going to discuss in this video. Economic appeal of cloud. Companies today need to increase computing power and control costs at the same time. There is a growing need to slash IT related capital expenditure. Cloud technology standardizes and pools IT resources and automate many of the existing maintenance tasks. Cloud architecture support various pricing models. Elastic consumption, model which is based upon self-service, and the model known as pay-as-you-go pricing. At the end of this video, you will be able to explain utility computing based on the concept of elasticity, discuss different cloud usage cost models, calculate and compare cloud and on-premises solution costs, define service level agreement with respect to cloud services, explain how to rate the cloud SLA. First of all, elasticity. One of the very important component of cloud computing is its elastic nature. Now, this is determined by the utilization level of the IT infrastructure. As per recent Gartner studies, most of the enterprise data centers which have got heavy investment in IT are underutilized, and the average figure is between 5% to 9%. Now, this worries the IT companies, this worries the companies or the enterprises which are hosting these data centers. The utility computing is something that helps mapping the need of existing IT infrastructure with respect to the use which is there. Utility computing is one of the area of that. Assume that your service has a predictable daily demand where the peak hours require 500 servers at noon, but the TRO requires only 100 servers at midnight. Now, if you look at this aspect here, and if we calculate the daily average utilization per hour, it is going to be 300. The actual utilization over the whole day is 300 into 24, that is 7200 server hours. To meet the peak demand of 500 servers, suppose the company decides, and after analysis of the demand which is there, it will be 12,000 server hours, and this factor is of 1.7 times more than what is needed. Without elasticity, we will be wasting resources, as you can see from the chart. As long as if you adopt for the model called as pay as you go, cost per server hour over 3 years is less than 1.7 times the cost of buying the server, we can save money using utility computing. Otherwise, utility computing or elasticity is something which is going to be helpful for you. Now, look at this particular one. If the resources are under provisioned, this is definitely going to be a problem. The potential revenue from the user not served is sacrificed. What this simply means is that if the users are trying to access your IT website or any other services that are provided, and if they fail to connect with it, these users will go away. And when these users go away, they will not come back. Here, without elasticity, we will be losing customers, and these customers can cost a lot of revenue to your organization. Now, let us look at the cloud usage cost models. Every company that is offering cloud services has some kind of a costing done, and they try to justify that particular cost. One of them is consumption-based pricing model. This model is mostly used for infrastructure as a service offerings. In consumption based pricing, you simply pay for what you use. You only pay for the amount of resources you actually use, such as disk space, CPU time and network traffic. You are not made to pay if at all your systems are idle, or if you are not connected with system, or if your users are not using your system at all. Then there is another pricing model called as subscription pricing model. Subscription pricing model mostly used for SaaS offering, which stands for software as a service. You pay to use the service for a certain time period, maybe monthly basis, quarterly or yearly basis. It is something like you are subscribing to a magazine and you only pay for the subscription. However, the advantage you have is that for this subscribed period, you get unlimited usage during the subscription period. That means in 30 days, you can use as many as resources and their components you require, without worrying that your utilization is more, so you have to pay more. And the third one is a volatile kind of a model known as market-based pricing model. In this model, there is a market price for a service like per hour of CPU time. This is a variant model, and in this model, the market price varies over the time based upon supply and demand. Something like, for example, if there is a festive season and if you are going in for a market-based pricing model to hire cloud services, you will have to pay more, because at this point of time in festive season, most of the organizations or enterprises or online stores will be selling their product and the number of visitors are going to be very high. So during this particular time, the companies which are offering the cloud services will increase the price. You can either buy at the current price or make it a bid to use the service at a lower price. It is something like you are trying to book an airline ticket, where if you book in advance, you may get a fair price. However, at the time when the festive season or the vacation is on face, and if you go and buy the airline ticket, it will cost you more. Now, coming to the business cost metrics and formula. How does a particular company decides whether it is worthwhile taking their business to the cloud? How do they come to know whether it will be beneficial and economically viable for them to take their business to the cloud? Now let's look at the formula for calculating cloud and on-premises solution cost. In this formula, you can see the main variables which are involved is the user hours on cloud, revenue and the cost of the cloud. And on the right hand side, users hours on data center, revenue and the cost of the data center divided by the utilization. Now this particular formula is arrived at so that you will come to know which of these two sides is better, which one you shall opt for. In the left hand side, we are multiplying the net revenue per user hour, the revenue realized per user hour minus the cost of paying cloud computing per user hour by the number of user hours, giving the expected profit from using the cloud computing. On the right hand side, we perform the same calculation for fixed capacity data center, and in this we are factoring the average utilization including the non-peak workloads. As you can understand from here, whichever side is greater, it represents the opportunity for higher profit. If at all you can arrive at a value which is on the left hand side and it is greater than the value on the right hand side, your profits are higher, and vice versa. Now I will show you a short demo in order to compare the cloud and on-premises solution cost by one of the very good calculator offered by Amazon. This calculator is actually designed by Amazon to help organizations take decision about whether they should go to the cloud, whether their existing infrastructure is serving good for them. Now let us talk about one of the other very important component called as SLA or service level agreements. Every company that is providing the service and the users or the organizations that are consuming the services always enter into an agreement. And this agreement is the one which becomes the foundation of trust and foundation according to which the companies will work and use and provide the services. First of all, what is SLA? When a company offers a service, it offers its customer a service level agreement that identifies key metrics, that is nothing but service levels, that the customer can reasonably expect from the services. SLA metrics consist of availability, reliability and performance of the cloud. And in each one of this area, the provider of the cloud will promise a certain quantified value. And this quantified value can be compared by the customer in order to arrive at whether the SLA was good or not, or whether the cloud services were good or not. Couple of very important characteristics of service level agreement that I would like to highlight here. Technology neutral. SLA should be technology neutral as cloud computing requires flexibility and extensibility. When I say it is technology neutral, I simply mean that your SLA shall not say any specific operating system or application or platform will provide so and so services. It should ideally indicate, irrespective of the platform, what shall be the metrics and its value. It should be business model neutral. SLA should apply to any business model, whether it is pay per use, long term contracts, subscription, etc. And SLA should include multiple forms of claim settlement, so that when a particular service is not met in accordance with the standards that are set, what should be the claim settlement in that area. For example, if a company has hired a cloud and the SLA was promising them a specific availability or performance criteria, if it doesn't meet, how this will be refunded back to the customer, in what ways. That should all be spelt out in the SLA. Now, when you have a SLA and you have gone ahead and got an engagement with the cloud provider, rating an SLA and quality of service of cloud is very important imperatives. Availability describes how often a service can be used over a defined period of time. While rating the SLA, you must take into account whether this particular availability was maintained or not. For example, if a website is accessible for 710 hours out of 720 hours month, it has a 98.6% availability rating for that month. This particular one will be very important whether you are a cloud provider or you are a cloud consumer. Because if the SLA has promised you 99.9% of availability, it means if your current value is 98.8, this is below the SLA metrics that has been promised to you. The factors that determine availability can also be further spelled out. It could be accessibility of key features, planned downtime. Maybe the cloud provider is giving you a planned downtime schedule according to which at a certain point of time during the month or during the year or during the quarter, the system services which are offered on the cloud will not be available, and the percentage of time that the environment is available. Rating SLA and quality of cloud service, the other component is the reliability. How well can you trust a system to protect data integrity and execute its transactions? This is a non-quantifiable component. However, the feedback from the old customers or existing customers can give a good idea about the reliability of a particular cloud service which is provided by a cloud provider. Issues such as low availability and instability can cause data corruption in relational database systems. And this could be a major deterrent for any particular cloud user to decide either in favor or against a particular cloud provider. Let me summarize points that we have covered in this video on economics of cloud computing. What we have seen is that all the companies need to increase computing power while they want to control the cost at the same time. We have understood about one of the important components of cloud computing called as elasticity. Cloud usage cost models including pay as you go, subscription and pay per use. What do they mean and what exactly they offer? We have understood about the key service level agreements metrics for cloud-based IT resources consisting of availability, reliability and performance of the cloud. Availability describes how often a service can be used over a defined period of time. Reliability refers to how well you can trust a system for the data integrity and execution of the transactions.